In this video, we will be taking a look at basic lighting effects, including glow, lens flare, and volumetric lighting. In your lighting scenes folder in the lighting project, open up Still Life version 3. In this file, we have the familiar still life of fruit, and above it we've created a simple light bulb hanging on a wire and a spotlight that shines right down on the still life. If we run a quick render in my software, we'll see our scene looks like this. We'll save this into the buffer for future reference. The first lighting effect we'll take a look at is how to create a little bit of a glow coming off of the light bulb itself. This actually is not really a lighting effect per se, but a shader effect. If we take a look at the shader on the ball, we'll see that it is assigned to a Phong shader that has a little bit of a transparency on it. Double clicking it to open up the attribute editor, we'll see it's a pretty simple shader. Under the special effects rollout is the glow intensity. All we need to do is turn up the glow. Let's go ahead and turn it all the way up to 1 and render out the scene. The glow creates this in Maya software post, meaning the scene is fully rendered first and Maya adds this glow to make the light bulb look like it's glowing. This gives you a very quick and very fast light effect. Next, we'll be taking a look at how to do a volumetric light effect. First, we'll go ahead and turn off the glow intensity on the light bulb. We'll go into the perspective window and take a look at our spotlight. And again, our original render with the spotlight looked like this. And we'll want to have a bit of a fog coming off that spotlight now. In the attribute editor for the spotlight, if you scroll to the light effects rollout, you'll see a light fog. Click the map button onto that and you will get a new light fog material. This node will show up in your hypershade, and you can see it's attached to your light and a few other things. The attributes for the light fog are pretty simple. You have a density and a color. Let's go ahead and adjust our color to a little bit of a yellow for an incandescent bulb. Let's keep our density at 1 and let's render and hope for the best. This is the glow from before. And now when we render out, we should get a nice halo coming from that spotlight. To make it seem as if it's coming from the light itself, we can go ahead and move the spotlight. You'll see that since we've created that light fog, the display for the spotlight has now taken on these blue lines. This shows you the cone that the light fog will now follow. Go ahead and select our light. We'll go ahead and move it closer to the bulb. And we'll do about thus. And let's increase our spread, our cone angle, I should say, a little bit to account for us moving it down. Let's give that a quick render. And we'll see that the light fog should be coming, give or take, from the light bulb. We can do a better job of hiding that behind the bulb. There we go. Now, in addition to that, let's go ahead into the shader for the light bulb. Let's go ahead and select the bulb geo. And in the hypershade, we'll see what is connected to it. That's Phong 1. Select that for the attribute editor and go back to the special effects rollout, which is right there. We'll turn up the glow. Let's go to about just over half and render. And we should get a glow from the light bulb as well as a bit of a fog on that light. The next light effect we'll be taking a look at will be the lens flare. Now what I've done is I've removed the glow from our light bulb, and I've removed the light fog from the light, simply by just reopening the scene. Let's go ahead and add the light fog back in, and I'll show you how to remove that. If we take a quick render of the scene, we'll see that light fog. There we go, we'll see that light fog in here. To remove the light fog, you can select your light and right click on the light fog and break connection. If we go ahead and render this again, the light fog should disappear, but it doesn't. Occasionally this will happen, this bug will come up where the cone for your light volume is rendering worse than ever before. To truly get rid of it, let's take a look in the hypershade. With the light selected, we'll go ahead and hit our input and output connections, and we'll see that there's a light fog node here. And I'm just going to simply select it and press delete to get rid of it. If we render our scene now, we'll see that the light fog has been lifted. Let's go ahead and select our light. In the light effects, right under the light fog, we'll see light glow. Clicking the map button for the light glow will attach an optical effects attributes node. Somewhere here in the hypershade, let's go ahead and isolate that and just look at that. This node will create the lens flare by simply clicking it on. You can also have some glow and halos coming from that will control what this lens flare will look like. If we go back into our camera view and render this scene, we're not going to get a lens flare. That's simply because lens flares are created... Oops, I moved the camera. I'm going to hit the left bracket to undo my camera move, go back into the perspective, and then I'll go ahead and get my light here. As I was saying, a lens flare is actually created when a light flashes the lens, hits the actual optics of the lens, and creates a reflection inside the glass. So what we want to do is we're going to go ahead and shine this light directly at the camera. And now we'll go ahead and render, keeping in mind that we've already added the light glow. And in the optic effects node, we turned on the lens flare. And boom, we have a lens flare. If we rotate this light away from the camera, you'll lose that flare. Again, so keep in mind it's when it's flashing the lens is when you'll get the flare. If we move the light and still keep it flashing onto the lens, you'll see that the lens flare is still there because it's still flashing our lens. In this video, we took a look at some simple light effects. We created a glowing light bulb using a shader trick. We created a volumetric light by adding a volume node to the light itself. And we also created a simple lens flare by adding an optical effects node to the light glow.